Well, Kristen said it, fire danger. It's what we feared would happen. The battle is being waged right now against a wildfire that is raging in the Santa Fe National Forest this morning.
That's right. All night long, firefighters have been trying very hard to contain the Lagunas fire, but despite their best efforts, this thing keeps growing. It started around 3:30 yesterday afternoon, about 10 miles north of Pecos and 1 mile west of Lagunas. It's along Highway 63, which is now closed at milepost 14 from El Macho to Holy Ghost. News 13's David Romero here with the latest. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Matt. The fire started about 3:30 yesterday, as you mentioned, and it really exploded overnight. Forest Service officials figured out what sparked it all.
It was a down power line that started the fire, yes. We're thinking it was blown over by the wind because we were having some really strong winds earlier.
Fire starting before 4, it was about 42 acres at 5:30. Then by 10 last night, it had exploded to about 500 acres. Now that's the latest estimate that we have this morning. Take a look at this video we got from Terry Saunders. She was hiking in the woods when the fire started and had to scramble to find a way out. Fire is threatening a number of homes, but firefighters don't know how many. That includes an elderly couple that reportedly refused to leave because they have too many animals in the area that's under evacuation. Forestry officials say there are 134 Forest Service cabins and 10 campgrounds and 6 trailheads. There's also a lot of extremely dry ponderosa pine and some very steep, rugged terrain, making the fire very hard to fight, and it has not been thinned in recent years. Now, more firefighters are on their way to the Tres Lagunas fire today, and a tanker is also on standby. Now, it couldn't fly yesterday because of the winds. We'll keep you posted. Back to you.
All right, David, thank you very much. And Kristen, you've been tracking the wind that we've been seeing. Is it going to be strong again today?
It is. It's going to get very strong very quickly. So today is going to be a really tough one for the firefighters. Here's a look at your forecast over the next couple of days. It does get a little better as we go into the weekend, but today is going to be just brutal for them. Relative humidity at 10% at best. Temperatures will be in the upper 70s, so quite warm for this time of the year, and winds anywhere from 20 to 30 miles an hour sustained, gusting to 50 miles an hour. So that's going to make things even tougher for them. As we go towards Saturday, we get a little bit more moisture, not a whole lot. Winds do lay down just a bit as we go into the weekend. By Sunday into Monday, we start to really see an increase in the moisture, so that could help things out a bit. But right now, and as we go through the day, fire danger extremely high across northern and central New Mexico because of how dry it is and because of how strong the winds are going to be. We're going to see 15 to 30 mile an hour sustained winds across much of northern New Mexico, and again gusting to 50 miles an hour. Albuquerque is going to see strong gusts too, and we have high fire danger here for this afternoon as well. But again, maybe some relief for the second half of the weekend. I'll have the details coming up in your full forecast.
All right, Kristen, thank you. And you know, that wasn't the only fire burning in New Mexico. A factory went up in flames in northern New Mexico. It started about 4:30 yesterday in Ranchos de Taos, just off of Highway 68. 3 large storage buildings at the Taos drum factory were destroyed. Viewer Naomi Gutierrez snapped this photo you're about to see of the massive flames coming from the highway. Fire officials say the blaze started in drum-making materials. Now, the cause is still unknown. State Forestry tackled a few spot fires that sparked up across Highway 68 from blowing embers. One volunteer firefighter lost his personal vehicle in the flames. Well, in other news this morning, you have to hear the dramatic 911 tapes that we got a hold of from one amazing story last week.
Yeah, actually it was from earlier this month. They're from the mom who was on the phone as she chased a man trying to kidnap her little girl here in Albuquerque. Melissa Torres frantically called 911 back on May 15th when she heard a man lured her daughter into his car and was trying to kidnap him from this apartment complex near 12th and Indian School. Melissa saw the man speed up, and she thought the girl was still in his car, so Melissa sped after him. And she and the 911 operator worked as a team as this real-life drama unfolded.
Got back on the freeway. I'm not going to lose my daughter.
I understand. You're not going to leave your daughter. I need to know where you're at. So you're gotten back on the freeway, and you're going eastbound, and you've passed Carlisle. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, the chase ended miles away, about 7 miles, when Torres crashed into the guy's car here near San Mateo and Catherine. Police say he is this man, David Hernandez. He's still in jail this morning. Investigators say he let the girl go before the chase started. Both she and her mom, Melissa, are okay.
What happened to an Albuquerque elderly couple found dead in their bed yesterday morning? Well, that is the question APD investigators are trying to answer this morning. The couple's son stopped by their house near Tramway in Spain to check on them and saw their bodies through a back window. The son says they had no medical problems that he knew of. Although his father had been a little bit depressed recently, police say there were no signs of a struggle or any kind of a break-in. The couple was in their 70s.
We could find out later today if the driver who hit a 5-year-old boy in Albuquerque yesterday will face criminal charges. Sheriff's deputies say the boy was riding a motorized bike outside of this mobile home park near Coors and Blake yesterday morning when the car hit him. Investigators say that driver then went home, then back to where the crash happened. The little boy's leg was seriously hurt, and deputies say he may never walk again. They interviewed the driver and say the district attorney's office will decide if there will be any criminal charges. 507, could the town of Carlsbad simply disappear?
New Mexico tech scientists say yes. You see, an unstable saltwell cavern could cause a deadly massive sinkhole. And listen to this. They say it's capable of swallowing people and buildings. This is a scary thought, folks. These are pictures of two massive sinkholes near the town taken back in 2008. They opened up above two salt mines. Now, experts quickly figured out that they were man-made. Officials then quickly shut down mining operations at the third site inside the Carlsbad city limits. Well, this is a graphic cross-section of the ground under one Carlsbad busy intersection, and all of the blue you see is an unstable saltwell cavern. Now, experts say it is so close to the ground surface it could easily collapse at any time, possibly swallowing a business, a church, and a trailer park.
So it's not a matter of if, it's when.
Yes, I would say that's probably the case. It's not a matter of if, but when. But when could be a century from now, or it could be next week.
Well, just so you know, geologists are monitoring ground movements in the area 24/7.
Okay, we've heard of sinkholes in Florida swallowing up, sadly, a person and maybe a couple of homes, but not a whole community, a whole city.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about in our neighborhood, folks, Carlsbad, New Mexico.
Geologists have their work cut out for them. 508.